Hey everybody, this is Sherry with CPR, Craft, Pray, Repeat. I've got my cinch out here. This is by We Are Memory Keepers. And someone had been asking for me to show how I make my journals. So I'm going to try to do that. Now I have already punched my front cover. And I've put the sheet of laminate over it. But I did realize that I have a Tim Holtz glaze that I can put over top of my watercolor. So I'm going to give that a try, but I haven't done it with this one yet. Now I've already got the holes punched for this, which is not a big deal because I still have to do all of these. So I'm going to show you how I do that. And it's the same for the cover. Everything's the same. So you start by opening up your cinch, and there's a little clasp right here that holds the arm down. You lift that up. Now, these papers are 7 inches long. So we're going to punch the first part, which is going to be 6 inches. And this thing will punch through quite a few. And you just make sure you slide it all the way in. And you push the handle down. And that gives you your first set of holes. So I'll do this a couple times so you can see. And I mean, I'm using various stacks, and you can punch through quite a bit, and it does get a little hard sometimes. But you just line it up with this little piece right here. So lining it up there, making sure it's all paper's all the way to the back, and pushing down the arm. And I just move all my stacks as I get them done. I just move them over to the side. And that way I can keep them all together, because this is not going to punch all the way to the edge. See how this one's here? And this one's got this far. We're not done punching all of the papers. So let me finish this, getting all of these done, because I don't think you all really want to sit and watch me punch all of these. And then I will be back. And every once in a while the paper will get stuck inside here, so you just kind of have to wiggle it sometimes. So don't panic if you have one of these, and don't try to just yank your paper out, because if you do that, you're going to tear, you know, your paper and the holes that you just made. So if that happens, just wiggle it like this, and they eventually fall down. Alright, now that we've gone ahead and we've punched all of our holes here, we need to move this little ruler out, and it will slide all the way out to 12 inches. So you could actually do 12 by 12 albums if you wanted to. Now what we're going to do is we need to decide, and there's a thing down here, and you can pull up information that tells you which pegs to pull out. And it says here that if I'm going to do a 7-inch, it's hard for you to see right there. Oh, I just messed up my paper. Okay, no I didn't. All right, it says right here that if I'm going to do a 7-inch album, I need to pull out peg number 2. So pulling this out means that it will not punch. If you leave it in, they all punch. If you pull it out, it will not punch. So what you do is you pull your thing all the way out, and there's a little lock right here. I don't know how I'm going to show it to you. It's right here. So what you do is you take and you put your paper on the ruler, and you push that peg down so it holds your paper in place. So when you punch like that, you lift the little lock up, and it gives you 1 extra hole. That's all I needed, was 1 extra hole. So you take your next stack of paper, slide it back in place, lock that little tab down. If you don't lock it down, now this is just me, somebody may be way better at this than I am, but if I don't lock that little peg down, I get my hole in the wrong spot. And push that down, and to be honest, because you're only punching through 1 hole, you can really go through more paper, because it really punches it a lot easier to punch just through 1 than it does a whole, you know, a whole row of the holes. At least, you know, for me, I'm getting weak in my old age. I don't know. But again, just lock it down, line it up with the the ruler here that slides across back up against that edge that I showed you earlier. Lock it down, punch the one hole, lift up the lock, and there's my last hole. All right, I'm going to finish these up, and then I will be back to share the next step with you. All right, everybody, these are my 1-inch, let me put this so you can see it. I'm trying. Okay, these are my Cinch by We Are Memory Keepers binding rings. They look like this, and what you do is you just, I'm using the 1-inch because that's the size I think I need for my book. It's the thickness and everything with the chipboard back and all the pages. Now, what you need to do is count how many holes you made. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 holes. So what we need, this is really getting in my way. What we need are 13 of these little loops here. And you just take your wire snips. They're real easy to cut. So we need 13. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now you're going to cut on the opposite side right here. And some people cut close to the edge. I cut right in the middle because I figure there's a little lip on this side. There should be a little lip on the other side. That's how I do it. You know, you do it however you want. Don't throw this extra piece away because you can use it for another book. And I chose to use my white binding rings. And I did do some research and found out that the Cinch has a 2.1 pitch, which means you can buy rings from any company as long as they have a 2.1 pitch, which means you get 2 of these, 2 holes for every inch. So there's 2 holes per inch. And you have to be careful because it seems like 3.1 pitch seems to be a very popular ring. And that would mean there would be 3 in one hole, or in 1 inch. And that's not what we have. We have a 2.1 pitch. So we want 2 holes for every inch. And I found some on Amazon. I'm going to try to link the Cinch, which I found a good price on it not too long ago on Amazon. If it's still a good price, I will link it there. If not, I'll see if I can find a good price for you. I found my acetate on Amazon. I found my chipboard on Amazon. So I will link as much as I can, but I wanted to let you know that they are affiliate links. It does not cost you any more. It just helps me try to get things for my channel, which it's not really done anything for me yet because I've not raised enough money to do anything with it. But that's where I found my stuff, so I am going to link it from there. But if you find it somewhere else better, please leave it in the comments, and I'll try to either pin your comment or add it to the description box, because I really would like for, you know, crafting is not a cheap hobby, so if we can get it cheaper somewhere else, that's where I want to make sure I share that information with you. Now this is how your book would look when you put it together, because this would be the front, but we haven't bound it yet. So to bind it, we want to take our back cover, flip it over, and put it in front. Okay? Now there's a little thing here on the side you can hook your rings to if you want, and it'll hang here, and you can just bloop on your side. I just put it through. You know, it's not difficult. Alright, now here's where, I mean, this machine does everything for you. This is an awesome machine. We're going to turn it around, and back here are different numbers, and this is where we use our 1-inch ring. So we're going to turn this little knob to the 1. And now I have noticed on my machine, I may not all be like this, but I seem to get a tighter squeeze on this side than I do on this side. So technically I could put the whole thing in here like this, but this side's going to squeeze a little tighter. So I found I do better if I use half of it and then squeeze the other half. What you do is you take your teeth like this and you bring this part, this open part, goes back up against the back of the plastic here. Push it all the way in, up against the thing, and keep your teeth like this. You want this hole here, you want this to go like this, like a sandwich, like that. You want it up against the wall, like that. Okay? And if this part, it's not hard, it's just difficult to share with you because of the way my camera's set up. Let's see if I can do it like this so I can at least show you. Okay, see? You put your little rings in so they go up against this edge right here. There we go. That's much easier to see, isn't it? Alright. But I can't do it that way. So, I'm going to go ahead and push down on this side. And you can see here it's already squeezed half my rings. And then I'm going to flip it over. Make sure again that I put that up against the back. And I'm going to squeeze the other half of my rings. And ta-da! It squeezes them together. Now, I like to be a little safe, so I just give it an extra little push. Now, see here where all your innards are? When you flip your back cover over, it covers all that up so nobody sees it. That's why you put the back cover in the front when you originally flip it. And there's my rings. And that is how I make my journals. And I probably could have even used a 3-inch binding ring for this one. Or a 3/4 inch binding ring for this one. But I wanted to use the white, and I knew it would be easier for you guys to see up against my black background. And if at any point you feel like they're not tight enough, which I like mine to be just a tiny bit tighter than this, you can always drop that down a notch, which makes it a little tighter, and squeeze one more time, and then that pushes them a lot closer. And then that way you don't, in my opinion, I don't have to worry about the back cover coming off. And there you go. That's how I make, let me get rid of that acetate for you. That's how I make my journals. And so somebody had been asking to see them, and I wanted to share. This is an image that I got from Altenew. It's called Statement Flowers. I watercolored it with my Tim Holtz Distress inks. And the sentiment is from Sweet and Sassy, Be Encouraged Too. Right there. It says, well, maybe it ain't from this one. It says, faith is not believing that God can. It is knowing that He will. And, oh, sorry. That would be from this one, which is Be Encouraged, the first one. Be Encouraged, and then this one's Be Encouraged Too. So, I've been using their sentiments a lot, and I just got this and was dying to color it. I asked my daughter to pick a color because I was worried I was getting, you know, kind of hooked on using the same pinks because I like pink. I can understand how the pinks work because I've used them enough. With being colorblind, I struggle. So I said, Danae, pick a color, thinking, okay, she knows there's leaves that are going to be green, so she'll pick another color besides that. Well, she didn't. She picked green. So I had to do the flower green, which was a chore for me. But I did throw in a tiny bit of yellow at the tips to try to blend it out a little bit and add a little more dimension. It made it look a little darker where the leaves would be tipped over. So that's what I did with this. And now you know how I make them. And I will be back in a little bit to share one more video with another set of journals that I made. My daughter's friend is pregnant. and her baby's due the end of this month. Well, she's got 2 other kids as well, and she wanted to have a journal for each of them. Not for them to write in, but for her to write into them, which I thought was such a sweet thing. So I did some more kid-friendly ones. So that was something new for me to watercolor little critters and things. So I had not really done that. So it was fun. And I'll be back. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below and I'll do my best to answer them. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And remember to practice your CPR. Craft, pray, repeat. Thanks for visiting me today and happy crafting. Love you all. Bye.